After an alleged armed robbery, arrest warrants have been issued for a former first-round pick of the New York Giants. We got the headlines. Welcome to the show.
And what's up, CT? The clock has already started, my brother. Why don't we
What's up?
just? Why don't we just? I called you CT again.
Yo, just call me what you would call me if you saw me in person. I'm good with that.
Nah, man. I don't want
Do
to.
it, man. Say it.
I don't want to disrespect you, Luis.
Don't call me that.
Luis. Luis Angel.
Hey.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Why don't we just jump right into it, man? Because we have a lot of headlines. So for some reason, Thursdays is the worst days. There's champagne when we Thursday. Just kidding.
Oh
I
man.
sounded so Caucasian right there. But let's start off with the main headline because you just teased it. Let's give the people what they want. Can you tell us what's going on with that Giants first round pick?
Yeah, so apparently Giants cornerback, first round pick last year, DeAndre Baker, and Seattle Seahawks cornerback brothers here, Quentin Dunbar, in Florida were involved in an alleged armed robbery, which apparently started over some gambling dispute, in which they lost $70,000 combined.
Jesus.
But I'm already reading that 5 witnesses have cleared Dunbar's name. That still leaves DeAndre Baker as a highly touted suspect here.
And some of the details that I've heard about this is that they went into this party on Wednesday night. This is in South Florida, by the way. It seems like everything that ever happens in the world of sports gets connected to South Florida. Biogenesis, Antonio Brown, seeing Tony Bosch last year, this, Jose Canseco, and on and on and on. Ties to South Florida for some reason. I don't know why. But some of the details are that they went in masked with armed and masked with semi-automatics. And at one point, it says the warrant includes conflicting accounts from witnesses as to whether Dunbar was armed. Wait, okay, so that wasn't it. According to the arrest warrant, multiple witnesses said at one point during the incident, Baker ordered another suspect wearing a red mask to shoot an individual who was just entering the party. So these are serious charges, and
shit.
if found guilty, DeAndre Baker sounds like he could be in jail for quite some time. And this is the Giants' first round pick from last year.
Yep.
Crazy.
What happened, man? When I was growing up, the Giants had like this standard of like being like this like very professional team. What happened to them, man?
I don't know, man. I think it's just winning hides all your flaws. Like when LT was with the Giants, Hall of Famer LT, he was a fuck up. The guy was a cokehead, doing crazy ass shit all the time. But the Giants were winning. They won 2 Super Bowls with him.
It's crazy.
In the 2000s, when the Eli Manning Super Bowl MVPs, you had Plaxico Burress shoots himself in a nightclub with a gun for some reason. But they were winning then. They're not winning now. So these things are magnified.
It's crazy how everybody hated a guy like Odell Beckham.
Oh yeah,
for just being some very
being cocky,
outspoken,
being self-centered. Yeah, but he wasn't a criminal to my knowledge.
Nope.
This is crazy story. So we'll keep checking up on this story on Monday when we come back on Monday. But as of right now, it looks like Dunbar has been cleared by 5 witnesses. Baker is still wanted. And the charges that Baker is wanted on is 4 counts of armed robbery with a firearm and 4 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm. So that sounds like he might do some serious time for that. I know that if he was in New York, I think it's like a minimum for a semi-automatic is like a minimum 10 or 15 years or something like that. I'm not sure what the laws are in Florida.
Yeah, man. And sticking with the NFL, James Harrison made some comments. Steelers, Mike Tomlin gave me an envelope after Masakoi, I don't know how to say his name, hit fine. So he was fined $75,000 in his playing days for laying out at the time, legal hit on a Cleveland Browns wide receiver. And he made some comments saying that after that, Mike Tomlin handed him an envelope. Didn't say it was money, but he said he handed him an envelope.
So this is exactly what he said on the Going Deep podcast, Barstool's Going Deep podcast. The Gist thing Mike Tomlin never did. He handed me an envelope after that hit on Massaquoi. I'm not going to say what, but he handed me an envelope after that. So put 2 and 2 together. He handed him some cash. This blew up. The story blew up. It was all over Bleacher Report, all over ESPN. I'm sure SportsCenter was talking about it all last night. And I have some comments that James Harrison went ahead and posted something on Instagram, showing all the pieces that have been written and all the merchandise that the NFL has sold with that image.
Wow. Some good points.
The highlight videos that include that image. And this is what he says. Wow, y'all really comparing what I said to BOUNTYGATE? Mike Tomlin has never paid me for hurting someone or trying to hurt someone or put a bounty on anybody. If you knew the full story of what happened back then, you'd know that BS fine for illegal play wasn't even penalized during the game. The league was getting pressure because the first concussion lawsuits were starting and they had to look like they cared about player safety all of a sudden. Before that, they had been selling a photo of that same play for $55 on the NFL website with other videos of the NFL's greatest hits that league profiled on back then, and so on and so forth. So I do see the hypocrisy. He has the examples of where the NFL is benefiting from that hit. So I don't know. At the same time, it's why bring up the envelope? Why would you do that? You're kicking yourself in the mouth by saying something like that. You know it's going to get picked up.
And those comments actually led Sean Payton, head coach of the New Orleans Saints, to say, I'd be shocked if NFL investigates James Tomlin's claim. That'll be something that's tucked away or under the rug at Park Avenue. They'll look into it briefly. Listen, don't get me started on that. I lost $6 million in salary, and honestly, it was something that I'll never truly get over because I know how it was handled and how it was run and the reasons behind it. That's just the truth. And he's referring to BOUNTYGATE, of course. So
crazy. So
the NFL making headlines in the offseason, man.
For reals, man. I feel like we haven't had that much NFL news, and I just got something on Bleacher Report before I got on here where they're going to start opening up camps for teams wherever it's available. So it looks like things are starting to kick back into gear. Looks like the NFL aren't going to feel any of the pain from from COVID-19.
Yes. Why don't we get into some baseball?
All right.
Nolan Arenado and Bryce Harper are backing the claims that were made by Blake Snell, which we reported on yesterday. I'm a Harper fan, man, so whatever he says, I agree with. So
would you like to hear what Harper said?
Of course, man.
All right.
What did Snell say on his stream earlier? Do you know?
That he said it's not worth it to play with pay cuts, and that you guys are risking your lives obviously getting COVID.
Yeah, I love Snell. That's my guy, bro. I love.
He said if someone gets it, they got to live with that for the rest of their lives.
He ain't lying. He's right.
He's like, give me my money or I'm not playing.
Hey, bro, he's speaking the truth, bro. I ain't mad at him. Somebody's got to say it. At least he manned up and said it. Good for.
So somebody's got to say it. Somebody manned up and say it, and at least somebody manned up and said it. He's not lying. That's what he said. So sounds like Bryce Harper is on the same page with Blake Snell to a point. And then you had mentioned Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado almost took both sides. He essentially said, at the end of the day, Blake Snell, made some good points I agree with, but he also made some points where it's going to be hard to get everyone on our side.
Yeah.
And I know that yesterday we spoke a lot about how these guys are millionaires and billionaires and all that stuff, and we kind of sympathize more with the players because they're taking a giant cut. But before we got on, you had mentioned how Rob Manfred was going to take a 35% cut this offseason. The players have already taken a 50% cut because what they're proposing is an 82-game season. That's half of a season, essentially. That's 50% of their pay gone already. And then on top of that, the owners they want to prorate their salary, not prorate. They want to give them 50% or whatever of that. So, I don't know, man. The players are like I said, this is gonna be what what can prevent baseball from us having baseball is the financial aspect of this whole thing, and that's gonna suck if it happens, because this could damage the sport for a while, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, for sure. I think it's gonna ripple up through history.
And that's your 10-minute mark. We still have some more headlines, so if stick around, we're gonna get through these headlines. CT, that's all I'm saying, dog.
We gonna make it.
Let's do it. You got any more? I have a couple more.
I want to say former Astros Bob Watson dies at 74. He's the first black GM to win a World Series.
For the great New York Yankees, that 1996 club. Oh my God. R.I.P. Bob Watson.
Did you say something? I couldn't. Didn't come in.
Oh, you.
No, now I can't hear you. Now actually, your voice actually did cut off now.
Because I started monkeying around with my mic, man. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you're good, man. Sorry about that. A little joke here. Rob Manfred also said that MLB owners could lose $4 billion if the season is canceled.
He also went on CNN last night and expressed that he feels great confidence that MLB is going to be able to work something out with the MLBPA. So
why do I feel like all these owners like Adam Silver, they're just like, yeah, we think we can get the season started, but by the way, in case we don't get it started, I mean, this is the worst case scenario. Yeah. But it doesn't look like it's going to be the worst case scenario.
Right.
But just in case, this is also a worst case scenario.
They just give you both sides of the story, and then you have headlines for each side.
On the fence, yeah.
I also have that Nats pitcher Patrick Korbin and Matt Barnes of the Boston Red Sox are to host a charity. You can't hear me?
No, I can.
God damn it. I said Nats pitcher Patrick Korbin. I'm going to have to... This mic, man. This mic.
Just break it.
Nah, man. I don't want to go back to the old mic. Nats pitcher Patrick Korbin and Matt Barnes of the Boston Red Sox are to host a charity gaming fundraiser from 12 to 3 Eastern time tomorrow on Twitch. It's called Call of Duty Warzone Charity Royale, and you can bid to compete with these players. The link will be down in the description if you want to check it out. Make a bid, try to play against these guys. Maybe I'll make a bid on behalf of CT so he can represent the Welcome to the Show podcast. We'll see. If the bid is too expensive, I'm not going to do that because I'm not rich. That's all I'm saying. Woo! And to finish the show today, Lewis, on this date in history, Roughneck Odor and Joey Bats went to war. Here's the highlight.
Beltrake ducks off a rough hop, and the throw is wide down the line, and there we got a 5 second. Bautista picked on the wrong guy as Odor came right at him, and we got the bench is empty now. There's some pent-up emotion going on out of Globe Life Park. Well, Bautista got the worst of that exchange.
Toma!
And man, Dominicans took an L that day.
For reals.
Well, the fans may have been waiting since last October, but it looks like the Rangers and Blue Jays were waiting since last October.
Yeah, so that was the punch heard around the world, as we call it. As CT just said, Dominicans took an L that day.
4 years ago, huh?
4 years ago. And I think before we got on, I had said how that's probably the most violent brawl, I guess you can call it. I mean, it turned into a scuffle later on that I've seen since that Armando Benitez, Plunk, Tino Martinez, and Darryl Strawberry took on the entire Baltimore Orioles squad.
That was better. That scuffle was better. I felt like Jose Bautista was never the same after that.
No, I think that, his decline kind of started around that time. Maybe that hit to the head, man. He's trying to make a comeback as a pitcher now.
I support.
I like Joey Bats, man. I think with the universal DH, I think there might be a place for him in baseball again.
Yeah, you're right.
He could be a DH in a National League team.
You're right, man. You're so right.
I'm always right, man. Anyway, follow us at WT The Show on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Manigo3, CT at Hovamojo. Sorry, Lewis at Hovamojo on Twitter. And that's all we got for you guys today. CT?
Yeah, like Manny said, that's all we got. That's all we got.
You stay classy, San Diego.
Take care.
Peace.